Hey guys, how are you doing? Today is June 17th, another Friday. Um, I'm not going to introduce the stock today because it's quite discouraging, right? For no matter a company is doing bad or doing good, right? The stock market keeps on falling, right? So no matter what a company does, and good performance, bad performance, or bad performance punch more, and then even with good performance, then still dropping. So I just hope that not all the small investor like us, right, lose your confidence, right? Actually, how long will the bear market last this time? A lot of people is asking because this time the putting up of the interest rate of the Fed, right? It did hurt herself first before she can decrease can control, can manipulate the inflation. Now the inflation, right? Now the CPI is 8.7%. What Powell said is he wants to control it to about 2%, right? And if he keeps on putting up the interest rate like this, I think that the a lot of the markets will die first because he can manipulate the inflation rate, right? I think this time he is not doing quite well, right? Or the timing is not quite good. And not all the inflation factors are caused by the US government. No, not all of them. At the early of this year, yes, about 70% is because of the relief plan. So the inflation of US market, whatever, goes up. But after the China's lockdown, and Russian and Ukraine war, and then the oil prices, whatever, then that is not caused by America, and then he cannot control it. If those factors keeps on, and now China is better, right? China is better. Gradually, the lockdown is diminishing, right? So if Fed keeps on doing things like that, then she may die first. A lot of enterprises will die first because she can manipulate the inflation. And then what next? She decrease the interest rate again, right? So I think this time, Fed is not acting in a proper action or a proper timing. It's really a very bad timing to put up the interest rate at this time, right? I think Janet Yellen should do it end of last year or last year this time, not at this poor timing. So today we will discuss on how long will the bear market last this time. And you can see that the Falcon portfolio all are very great companies with good performance. Then you can see that it's still punking, right? So you can see the performance of the portfolio drops to 41%, right? So drops much because actually yesterday, right, the market still keeps on dropping. No matter then the Fed already put up the interest rate to a 3/4, right? It keep on dropping. So for anything then about the economy, then you want me to analyze, or any company then you want me to analyze, you can leave your comment under the YouTube, or you can directly email to me by Usstockmarketweekly@gmail.com. So this is our Falcon 350,000 portfolio. Then it dropped 26% just on this year. Just on this year, it dropped 26% already. And then you can see that Nasdaq dropped it, but the Nasdaq performance is only 37%, right? It's really bad, right? So how long will the bear market last this time, right? So we take a look on the index first. And yesterday, even Fed already put up the interest rate to 3/4, right? Then it still punks more than 741 points for the Dow Jones. It is a big drop, and it drops lower than 30,000. It's not a good sign for us, right? Because this is for psychological, right? Figures 30,000, and then it drops over that, right? And then for Nasdaq, it even drops 4%, right? We know that a lot of hedge fund is doing things. It's their job, it's their way of earning their living. It's no point for U.S. government now to put on an act and said that, sorry, you cannot do any short selling. No, right? No. This time may not be, they have bad idea on that. They just earn the living. Because the Fed making good environment for them to do the short selling, right? Because if like that, you keep on put on the interest rate, right? And then maybe there's a recession. Because this time they put on the interest rate is not because the economy is too hot. At the first time is because of the relief plan. First time. So we take a look on some of the circumstances first. We can see now the US 10-year Treasury bonds, now the yield is 3.246 already. 1 week before is 3.05 something, right? So it just go up very fast. It just go up very fast. So the market changes. Because less money is upflowing in the market. And then why the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq drops? Because the people is saying that there is a recession coming. There's a recession coming for the US market. So everything changes, right? And Powell, one day after Powell's assurance about the economy, and he said that there may not be recession. He said that this time America can escape from the recession and can wealthy, right? They can manipulate the CPI well without the recession. But the market, of course, is worrying because they put up the interest rate so quickly, right? And then with less and less money floating outside, of course, the market will change, right? Because there's less money floating. Okay, then we talk about how long will a bear market last this time. Normally, not like before, whenever there's a war, there's something that maybe few years, I don't know, right? Sometimes maybe few years. But normally, like last time for the Lehman Brothers, right, it's about 9 months to 1 year. Normally, it's 9 months to 1 year. So now it's about more than 7 months already. More than 7 months already. So I think that this year will be like that. So the point is, for this time, the CPI rising is not only because of the relief plan of America for the COVID-19. And then this year it happened that China's lockdown, and then the Ukraine and Russian war, making everything very expensive because the transportation dropped it, right? Transportation, and then everything put up the prices. Now it's the oil prices, whatever, right? So only by America is putting up of the interest rate, it does not help a lot, right? I think that he should stop now and then let these factors diminish by themselves first, right? It's just like the China. China now is gradually releasing the lockdown, right? So it becomes better. And then for the Russian-Ukraine war, now it still go on. But the EU is finding some alternative for the oil prices, so it will be better. But the point is, if she keep on putting up the interest rate now, then there's a great impact on everything, on every enterprises of America. So you can see that for Home Depot. You can see for Home Depot lows, why it slipped to 50 weeks lowest point? Because you keep on putting up the interest rate. So no one will buy the houses, right? The capital is too high when you have to do the mortgage. So it cannot be reversed. You can say that, oh, after this year, after the CPI better, then we can reduce the interest rate now. No, not like that, right? The enterprise being hit is being hit, right? So this is first thing. And the second thing, you can see that for the advanced micro device, I don't think that actually for the AMD or NVIDIA, the demand on them will be decreased, because the whole world still need the semiconductor, everything, right? And you can see that now the cost can punch because of Russia, and you keep on putting up the interest rate, then less people invest, then they think that, okay, then everything will be recessed. So even AMD stock prices recess. It dropped it nearly half already. The same thing happens for NVIDIA. We don't see that the performance is very bad, but you can see the stock prices decreased to half, right? Decreased to half. Now it's 156, and the highest one is more than 346. Decreased it more, nearly half, right? So it hurts the enterprise. So now he keeps on putting up the interest rate. Is not a good timing. I think he should review on the policy now already, and then let some of the very serious things like the oil prices, they gradually come down first, right? Like the Russian-Ukraine war, relief first, right? Like let the transportation ties, right? The very tense of the transportation better first, and then let the labor prices increment be better first. Then before he just keep on putting up the interest rate, no, right? Then you will hurt the enterprises more seriously. You hurt him first, and then after half year, then you send him to the hospital. Then it's no use. He died it already, right? And then even like Warren Buffett, right? What the enterprises he's holding is an excellent enterprises. There you can see, even for Warren Buffett, the stock prices dropped it. I calculated already more than 25% just at this few months. You can see from the screen, from 360 down to 268. It dropped it more than 25%, right? It's not their fault. The enterprise is no problem. So after this time, right? So we should consider, actually in my real portfolio, I have some percentage of my portfolio is public utility stocks, right? It's better. My portfolio is still positive, not negative. Of course, quite close to negative, but not negative yet, right? So you can see that for some of the stock for public utility, they are dropping less. And then you have the dividend, like the Realty income, right? She just sells some of the stock today, right? So you can see that it drops, right? But not much, because it's public utility. She's a weeks, right? And then for some very special industry, we introduced it in our YouTube diary and our Hong Kong program. They are quite special. They have a very wide mode. That means you have to use them no matter the economy is good or bad, right? And like the waste management, you can see it drops, but drops very little. You can see that it drops just very little. It just drops about 15% something. You can see from the diagram. You can see from the stock price historical chart. Another is we introduced it before, that is for funeral SCI. You can see that it also drops, but the share price drops just a little. You can see it dropped from 72 to 63. It's just about 10%. Because then no matter what, you have to die, right? You have to pay for that, right? That is very special monopoly in the industry. And then no matter the economy is good or bad, then you have to use them. So we should consider have one or two inside your portfolio to keep your portfolio more safety, right? In the bad time. In the good time, they may not rise a lot. They may rise few percent per year with a dividend. But in the bad time, they can save your portfolio. Also, for some stock like Coca-Cola, like McDonald's, then I'm not quite agree that America will go into the recession now, because a lot of enterprises, they can transfer the high expenditure. That means a lot of things rise the prices, like the meat, right, like the transportation, like the labor costs, right? But they can put up the prices. Some of them even increase more than the inflation, than the CPI. One of the good example is like SCI, like waste management, and one of the good example is Coca-Cola or McDonald's. They can put up the prices $1, then you may not realize that they put up the prices, and or the food is become smaller, right? Like hamburger becomes smaller, right? So you can see that for McDonald's, they also, their stock prices been dropped, but just a little bit. You can see that it dropped from 271, now it's 235, right? Just $30, right? About 12%. And then you can see with a good dividend. But at the good time, they may give you about 4 or 5% return, and then with dividend yield about 2%. So consider to include some of this with big mall enterprises, and then with some like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, then they can transfer the capital increment into the product. That means they can put up the prices, and you still have to buy the food from them or use their service. Include one or two of this kind of things into your portfolio. When the market is at a good time, their increment may not so sharply like AMD or NVIDIA. But when there is at a bad time, then they can, to a certain extent, stabilize your portfolio, right? Not drop too much. I have a lot of this kind of public utility stock in my Hong Kong portfolio. So now my real portfolio still is a positive, right? I still have few percent earning, right? But I don't know it can stand. I don't know how long it can stand, right? But actually, we should consider that, right? Okay, we share up till here, and thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give us a like, and then your comment is welcome. And please help us to press the subscribe button and then the bell icon next to it. So whenever there is video uploaded, you will be informed. Okay, today is Friday. I hope everyone have a very peaceful weekend. See you next week. Bye-bye.